agricultural production system through organic management. This program is organized by Center for Agriculture Market Intelligence under NAHEPCAST, Anand Agricultural University, in collaboration with Gujarat Organic Agricultural University. Today, we have with us Mr. Kapil Shah, who is going to deliver a lecture on marketing of organic produce in Indian perspectives. Kapil Shah is the founding director of Jatan, which is one of the pioneering organizations in India that enabled a shift towards organic farming from the 1980s. This was done through creating awareness about sustainability of natural resources, quality of food, and socio-economic justice to farmers. Jatan is involved in policy advocacy around farmers' seeds rights, resisting GM crops, creating markets for organic produce. Sir holds an MSc in plant breeding and genetics. Sir has wrote and edited more than 20 books and about 50 articles related to the field Jatan is working. He remained a member of several government committees and founding member of two largest organizations in organic and anti-GM movement in India, namely Alliance of Sustainable and Holistic Agriculture and Organic Farming Association of India. I wholeheartedly welcome you, sir, for this technical session 3. We all are really looking forward to listen to you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you, Shraddha. Let me share my presentation. Thank you all, the whole team, Dr. Mewada especially, and the team members of AAU and Gujarat Organic Agriculture University for giving me this opportunity, allowing me to share my thoughts. Let me start with sharing my presentation. Thank you. I hope I am audible well, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes. We don't have any participant right now on Zoom. There could be so many on YouTube. Let us start.
YouTube. Yeah. Yes, sir.
So you can see my presentation, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. So I will be talking about marketing of organic produce and Indian perspective. And this is very important to understand this with the Indian perspective. And we will talk about why Indian perspective is important. And in my presentation, we would like to understand status of organic market, especially global status. What do we mean by organic produce? And there are many versions of organic, natural, and varying definitions, varying concepts. We need to understand these too. What do we mean by marketing? It includes processing, post-harvest processing, quality assurance, distribution and selling. These are the parts of marketing. Then we will talk about Indian perspective, why we produce organic, what are the special situations for organic, for farmers especially. What should be the priority of consumption for India? And what should be the role of government agencies? I would like to cover these topics in next 50 minutes or so. See, the overall data, it shows that India produces about 35 metric tons of organic produce. The data has come from APIDA website, and we produce food products, namely oil seeds, fiber, sugarcane, cereal, millet, cotton, non-food product also. Pulses, aromatic and medicinal plants, tea, coffee are the pioneering organic export commodities in India. Spices too, some fruits, dry fruits, vegetables, processed foods. And as said, organic cotton fiber. Once upon a time, before introduction of GM cotton, India was leading organic cotton producer in the world. And main states which are producing large producers include Maharashtra, Karnataka, Rajasthan, UP. This is overall situation of organic production in India. And as far as export is concerned, of course, this comes from APIDA's website, so it doesn't include PGS certified products and all that. they have categorically mentioned that the data has come from their own system about the TraceNet and APIDA certification agencies. So we have exported last year about 9 metric tons of 9 lakh metric tons of organic produce worth of about 1,000 million USD. And there is another data comes from FIBL, the International Monitoring Agency, based in Germany, I think. And it is 2018 data, which says that retail sale and international trade of organic produce in India is estimated 186 million euro. They mentioned this in euros. It's a vast difference. I don't know what should be the source of this information. But we need to understand when we talk about marketing and export, which is very lucrative concept, export-oriented organic farming. But we need to understand that whatever we export from India in the name of organic, 57% is soya meal, which is consumed by the poultry industry mainly abroad. Oilseeds 9%, 7% cereals and millets, tea and coffee 6% of the Indian total export of organic produce outside India. Spices and condiments 5%, medicinal plants 5%, dry fruits 3%, sugar 3%. So what we need to understand here is Indian organic produce is largely uncertified. First thing, because the whole system is not yet geared up to make it certified. We know most of the organic outlets still sell uncertified food. And there are many other ways other than outlets or the shops where the organic produce are sold. Claimed organic, how genuine we don't know. Most organic produce in India is consumed domestically. You can see here that 75% of the certified organic produce is consumed domestically. We have produced 35 lakh metric tons, out of which about 9 metric tons is exported as per the APIDA data. So when we talk about marketing, we need to focus more on domestic because especially in organic, it is 25% of the certified goes to export. Otherwise, for a non-organic, hardly 3 or 4% of the Indian agriculture produce are export oriented and meant for export, or we are really exporting just 3 or 4%. So let us focus on marketing in domestic market. It is very important. And sometimes we talk about export and it is more fancy and glamorous, but that is not the reality. And as said, I would like to repeat, more than 50% of whatever organic produce we export is meant for poultry, just the soya meal. This is the reality of organic export from India. And overall, it is not much. Globally, just 1.5% of the area is under organic. In India, it is also less than 1%. These are the latest figures from FIBL, the monitoring agency. But what is important here is because the data managers, they every year they publish a book. I will talk about the organization which is working on it, and it is mentioned that in just last 1 year, which country has led the increase in the area, and it is India. In 1 year, another 3,61,000 hectares of land is covered under organic farming. So if you consider by increase in area in 1 year, in last year, India is the topping country, is the first country where maximum area was converted to organic in last between 2018 and 19. The latest data available is 2019 data, which was published in 2021. Where the market lies. So the most of the market, 45%, is North America. 43% is Europe. Asia is just 10% and others is just 2%. So those who are talking about export-oriented organic food, they need to target, they generally send their consignments to North America and Europe. I'm telling you this because these are the developed countries and they have their own standards. We need to understand if you want to cater their needs. Almost same thing here. And the overall global market is 106 billion euros. And USA, Germany, and France are the topmost countries where maximum amount of organic is sold or consumed in terms of money. And in France, it is 13.4%. In Denmark, it is 12.1%. And the Denmark people spend maximum amount per capita, per head to buy organic. That is 344 euros per year per capita. So European countries and European citizens are more sensitive not only to environment and health, but also to environment, social justice, climate change, and they buy organic food uh, per capita basis more than other countries. All the data is available in a book one can download freely from the website. You can see this organicworld.net, statisticsfibl.org. All data is freely available. One can download a latest book with all this data. Anyway, and the growth of organics retail sales worldwide has increased tremendously. There are many reports which says that after this COVID pandemic, world over, the demand has increased like anything. This is the data before the COVID pandemic, 2019 data. And in last 20 years, it has increased by almost eightfolds from 15.2 billion euros to 106.4 billion euros. Well, from where the data comes? So we need to understand that the whole global organic movement, which includes NGOs, government agencies, corporate agencies, certificate agencies, are basically most of them or should become a member they are member of an NGO. We need to understand that the globally, if you see the history of organic movement in each and every country, it is basically started by farmers and NGOs. And university and government agencies plunge into it in last 10 to 20 or 30 years. But basically, since last 80 years of the history, it is basically a movement run by farmers and NGOs. And today, the International Federation of Organic Agriculture Movements, IFOM we call it, is an umbrella organization with 581 members, 152 associates, 100 supporters from 127 countries. And they update their information with standards, what is happening globally, and all government agencies, including FAO and United Nations, other agencies of United Nations, also rely on this kind of information and their activities. And they have defined organic agriculture. Let us talk about what should be the definition of organic. They say that it declares its mission. IFOM is a mission to lead, unite, and assist the organic movements in its full diversity. It is very important. We could be talking about cow-based farming, or someone could be talking about biodynamic agriculture, or someone could be talking about permaculture. Many other terms are being used. We'll talk about it. And the vision, the adoption, what is the vision? Adoption, the worldwide adoption of ecologically, socially, and economically sound system. Very importantly, first ecologically. It's not finance and economics first. socially, and economically sound systems based on principles of organic agriculture. What are those principles of organic agriculture as prescribed by this IFOM, the largest umbrella organization? They say that four principles exist. Organic farming should sustain and enhance the health of soil, plants, animals, and humans as one and indivisible, not only health of the humans. I would like to emphasize. Organic farming should be based on the living ecological systems and cycles, not linear path, but cyclic path of water harvesting, water recycling, nutrient recycling, carbon recycling, biomass recycling. Work with them, emulate them, and help sustain them. Sustainability is very important. Organic agriculture should build a relation to that ensures fairness with regards to common environment and life processes. Fairness is important. Are we dealing with our laborers fairly? Are we paying our consumers, our farmers fairly? Fairness is important, and it builds relations. It could be real. It could be relations with the earthworms and frogs, or the consumers and the policymakers and everything. Organic should be managed in a precautionary and responsible manner to protect the health and well-being of current and, very importantly, future generations and the environment. And in picture, they say that the four principles, one is principle of health, another is principle of ecology, third is principle of fairness, and fourth is principles of care. So when we talk about organic farming, organic is just not pesticide free food. Now, my question here, I would be posing some questions to the audience here and would like to debate if required, because some of my sentences, some of my views may not be digestible to the whole audience, to the all people participating here. Does quality assurance give enough and equal importance to these four principles, or we are more health conscious people? And so everything is regulated based on health and pesticide residue. Is it fair treatment to the organic farming? This is my question to you. So the IFOM has defined organic farming. Organic agriculture is a production system that sustains the health of soil, ecosystem, and people. It relies on ecological processes, biodiversity, and cycles adapted to local conditions. Very importantly, local conditions, rather than use of inputs that adversely affects. It could be hormones, synthetic chemicals, pesticides, GMOs, genetically modified organisms, their products, seeds, genetically modified seeds, all are considered as adverse effects. Inputs with adverse effects. Fertilizers. Organic agriculture combines traditions. I remember our cow-based farming is a tradition. Innovations. It's not a stagnant process. And science to benefit the shared environment. It's also a science, not only just a tradition. So those who are promoting organic farming just based on traditions, and all traditions were just based and no other furtherance in the traditions required, must understand that we should also cope up with the advancement of the science in the organic farming and promote fair relationship and good quality of life for all involved, all involved. And I had an opportunity to draft this definition internationally. I was part of a process to drafting these principles and these definitions at international level also. How FAO defines this? I don't go into the details of it, but definitely what is included here: ecosystems health, biodiversity, biological cycles, soil biological activity. It emphasizes the use of management practices in preference to the use of off-farm input, taking into account the regional conditions required locally adapted systems. It encourages using, where possible, agronomic, biological, mechanical methods as opposed to synthetic materials to fulfill any specific function within the system. And if you read the document further on the website, you will find that there are three different driving forces which can be identified in organic agriculture movements globally. One is consumer or market driven organic agriculture. Is one part of it, where certification, labeling, and consumer takes a conscious decision on how their food is produced, processed, handled, and marketed. It's consumer driven. They don't say it is health driven because consumer have different choices. We will talk about it. Service driven organic agriculture, especially in Europe, EU, you will see that subsidies to organic agriculture are available to generate environmental goods and services, such as reducing groundwater pollution or creating more biological diverse landscape. I remember in 2000, about 21 years ago, when I visited UK and studied their organic movement, the government was giving subsidies, cash subsidies to the farmers who have maintained live hedges, Jivant Bard, live hedges per meter basis, because biological diverse landscapes are required. It is service-driven organic agriculture. When we talk about marketing of organic produce, we need to understand what is organic farming, what it has aimed at. And third is farmer-driven organic agriculture, especially in country like India, where we are more concerned about the well-being of the farmers, reducing cost of production, having more benefits, and a kind of self-respect to the farmers. If farming brings self-respect and more money to the farmers, it is very important to produce not necessarily sold in the market or sold without the price distinction, as it is not certified. In developed countries, small farmers are increasingly developing right direct channels to deliver non-certified organic produce to consumers. This is happening not only in India, world over, where there are more a kind of an agrarian countries with small farms and small farmers. So these are the various kind of approaches as defined, described by Food and Agriculture Organization of the man. What does it mean by APIDA? APIDA says organic produce are grown under system of agriculture without use of chemicals, fertilizers, pesticides. The categorically not mention GMOs, but a standard says no GMOs allowed here. It's an environment and socially responsible approach. In agriculture system, we have hardly thought of socially responsible approach and where organic farming differs from conventional chemical agriculture. Initially, we have started talking about organic agriculture based on pesticide residues. And now we are talking about climate resilience agriculture. And now a day will come where we'll talk about socially responsible agriculture, and then comes organic farming. This is a journey of organic farming movement in India. We need to understand how FSSAI defines, because finally food is regulated by FSSAI. Organic food are product of holistic agriculture practices focusing on biodiversity, soil health, chemical-free input with environmentally and socially responsible approach. Now they talk about environment socially responsible approach, but the mandate of FSCI is just health, pesticide-free food, toxin-free food, bacterial toxin-free food, not only chemical toxin-free food. We will talk about this. This is the important part. The regulators or the consumers, or sometimes people, university people, miss in the whole movement. In India, it is being regulated right now by FSSAI. What it says, it's Food Safety and Standard Authority of India. And it is says inspiring trust, assuring safe and nutritious food. One thing, FSSAI deals with food, not with organic cotton because it's non-food item. It deals with nutrition and safety of food, not about this environment and social part of the food production system. It doesn't matter to FSSAI whether the food is produced in climate resilient system or not. We don't have a system right now which can certify the quality of food based on climate resilience or based on social justice, based on fairness and the pricing. That is not the mandate of FSSAI. I would like to emphasize. And there are various acts and rules and regulations over the years FSSAI has developed, and execution has started since 2018 as per the section 22 of the act, which regulates GM foods, organic foods, functional foods, proprietary foods. All good and bad food are put into one section. All should be, they say that there will be a special regulation to sell such categories of food. And by definition of FSSAI, organic food means food products that have been produced in accordance with specified organic production standards. For them, standards are important. Standards generally, and FSSAI has adopted APIDA standards. It's not adopted, but they say that we abide to. They have permitted two agencies, APIDA and NPOP system, APIDA's NPOP system, and the PGS system to certify organic food in India. This is very important. I will take some time here. See what it says. This is a part of the regulation, copy and pasted from there. Manufacture, pack, sell, etc. of organic food. No person sell, manufacture, pack, sell, offer for sale, market or otherwise distribute or import any organic food unless they comply with requirements laid down under these regulations. And these regulations permit NPOP and PGS system with a provision that any other system or standards as may be notified later on time to time by FSSAI authority. So there is a scope that we can have another system of certification also. But right now only two are in existence. This is a very important clause in the part of the regulation. The organic food which is marketed through direct sale by the small original producer or producer organization as determined by food authority. They would determine who is original producer and producer organization. If they are smaller, then to end consumer shall be exempted from these regulations. I will talk about it later on. But there are labeling related clause in FSSAI irrespective of organic regulation. It applies to it. There are traceability, whether you are exempted or not. Traceability must be mandatory. Requirement to comply with the provision of other regulations, advertisement regulations, contamination related regulations, weight related, residue related regulations. We will have to comply with it and display the seller of organic food either exclusively or as part of his retail merchandise shall display such food in a manner distinguishable from the display of non-organic food. So these are the part of the regulations. Any FBO, food business operator, should comply to these regulations. So to get it certified, right now the Indian Organic Certification System allows, as said earlier, NPOP system and PGS system, and there are 28 accredited certification bodies under NPOP. This is managed by APIDA, and there are 562 regional councils approved by PGS India, which is basically run under Department of Agriculture of Government of India, where farmers themselves, a group of farmers, take responsibility and give assurance about the quality. Of course, there are some exceptions exist for which I will talk about later. Anyone, any FBO, food business operator, it could be a Pani Puri wala or a corporate mall, if it is claimed organic, and it's important for any consumer also, there should be at least 3 logos. They are mandatory logos if it is claimed organic. One is Jaivik Bharat logo, which is given by FSSAI for organic food. Another is FSSAI itself, their own logo with license number, because each and every FPO, food business operator, must take a license number, irrespective of the things are organic or not. So FSSAI logo should be there with the license number. Then Jaivik Bharat logo for being organic as approved by FSSAI, and either it's a PGS logo or India Organic. India Organic logo comes from APIDA system, those 28 accredited agencies, and PGS India, those certified under PGS. So either one of them, the below two ones, should be pasted on the on the packet. This is mandatory. I have seen packets being sold claimed organic without this logo, and it's a punishable offense. So this is a web portal of PGS India, managed by National Center for Organic Farming in Ghaziabad under Department of Agriculture, Farmers Welfare. And one can study how one can get a certificate from PGS system. It's basically a farmer-led, NGO-led, and its own government agencies are also there as a part of RCs, regional councils. They monitor certification through local groups of farmers locally, a group of 2 farmers together, take responsibility, follow the regulations, standards, and assure the quality. It's a very unique, and we must praise the Indian government for having this opportunity for Indian farmers. It's a kind of a self-certified, community-based certification, as opposed to third-party certification, like APIDA certification. Sorry. So PGS India gives two kinds of logos. If you are under conversion, you can have blue logo. If you are fully converted after 2 or 3 years, whatever the time limit prescribed in the standards, then it comes a green logo. So green is the Pakka organic. Blue is under transition organic. There is another system also, and it is basically an NGO initiative. And before government took PGS in its lap under government's Department of Agriculture, basically, as said earlier, not only organic movement, the certification also in India has started through NGOs. And Jatan remained part of it about 20, 25 years ago. We started a kind of a certification related, standard related processes in Gujarat. One of our event was organized in Anand Agriculture University. What should be the standard for organic agriculture? Before government started talking about the quality issue. And these NGOs, a group of NGOs, they call it PGS Organic Council. They have this logo. You may find, especially in South India, goods sold with this logo also. Of course, this is not approved by the government of India, but there is also a system of quality assurance right now, largely prevailing in NGO circles and farmers group in South India. But globally, PGS is still not well recognized. Those with a kind of a gray, non-green colored countries with those kind of color, you can see here, India, this must be Greenland, I'm not sure. And this is Chile here, some Argentina, and some South American countries, some part of South America here, Mexico, this is, I think, this is Mexico. So these are the countries where PGS is recognized. Europe and US, largely the major markets of organic food remains, they have still not recognized PGS. So this is also a lacuna in the global regulation system, where the major buyers of organic produce rely on third-party certification, not farmer community-based certification. But it is taking space. It is taking its own lead. PGS will come in many other countries later on. It's a new progressive way of certification because it is more farmer friendly, cheaper, and easy for farmers. Anyway, I'm not talking much about the regulations, but there are some circulars issued by FSSAI over the years. I remain part of a committee for expert committee on organic food under FSSAI, and we set the system to an extent in nutshell. As a FPO or as a farmer, what one need to understand when we talk about marketing of organic food, especially in India. Let me be clear that these regulations right now under FSSAI is for domestic consumption only. If you want to export any organic produce, then FSSAI doesn't come into picture. APIDA may come, but not FSSAI. Mandate of FSSAI is limited to domestic consumption only. So regulation applies to what? If you have labeled it organic or Jaivik Khadya in Hindi and organic food in English, then only the regulation applies. Does it mean that if I have labeled organic cow-based agriculture produce, will it apply? The regulation will apply? Will the food safety officer will catch me? Very importantly for the farmers, FSSAI Act doesn't apply to farmers. It applies to FPO, food business operator. All farmers are exempted. No food safety officer, FSSAI or government officer can come to farm and say why you are not certified. But they can definitely come to a shop because food business operator, there is a definition of food business operator. And when farmer can be considered FPO is a vague idea. Right now, we are not sure whether farmers can be considered as FPO or not. If someone is selling from the farm gate, whether it's a FPO or not, or whether someone is selling from a street in a city or on a roadside shop in a city, then only it becomes FPO. We are not sure whether farmer is considered as FPO or not. But it is very categorically mentioned in the food regulation, FSA regulation, that overall, irrespective of organic, FSA regulation doesn't apply to farmers. As Dr. Paresh Bhai has told yesterday, the maximum residue limit is 5% of the normal MR for organic produce. Labeling standards and traceability must be followed. But there are exemptions. There are exemptions. And it is a very important exemption. It required a long deliberation series of meetings of which I was a part of. And finally, we have come up with two exemptions, very importantly. All aggregators and intermediaries are exempted with following conditions. They can sell organic produce with claim of organic, labeled organic without logo, of course. If one, if the goods are bought from small original producer. If it is traded, then you are not given exemption. But if you buy from a small original producer, then the even shopkeeper, intermediary, aggregator is exempted from the regulations. Of course, his or her annual turnover of organic food should not exceed 50 lakh rupees per annum. And he or she should be selling to end consumer and should not be a retail company. So there is a doubt about it. What do we mean by retail company? But all aggregators and intermediaries are exempted from FSSAI regulations if they are buying directly from farmer and selling directly to housewives and end consumers, but not as a part of the chain systems, trading chain, and their annual turnover is less than 50 lakh. All those such aggregators and intermediaries can sell organic produce without certificate, without logo. And secondly, the exemption is also given not only in the regulation but in the rule itself. The small producers and producer organizations, FPOs, farmers trust, whatever, are exempted with following conditions. Self produce, उनको अपना माल बेचना है तो annual turnover of organic food of the farmer or the producer should not be more than 12 lakh per year and sold directly to end consumers. If this is sold directly to end consumers, so if farmer is selling to a shop, to a shop, then it is not sold to the direct consumer. So a farmer going to a organic food mela, selling their own organic produce directly to housewives, they can also claim it organic, sell it without logo, and no one can catch them. This is the reality of organic regulation today. Of course, they will have to maintain the MRL level and traceability. Pesticide MRL level, they will have to maintain. And here is this is my hope that what does the term used is not farmer, the term used is producer. Means all dal maker, oil extractor, juice market makers, jaggery makers, rice polishing people, flour makers, poha makers are also primary producers or not. So I have made this presentation to FSSAI. They yet to clear this. And also bakery, pickle, jam, sherbet, they all are primary producers. We don't know what does it mean by, sorry, it's not primary producer. What does it mean by primary producer? Yeah, of course. So the term is not used farmer, primary producer. And I think flour maker or oil extractor is a primary producer of oil. Anyway, now comes with the FSSAI own website, the earlier website with the earlier avatar, where Prime Minister was saying that India's commitment to sustainable development is at the heart of government thrust for organic farming. So organic farming should finally lead to not only just healthy food, pesticide-free food, it's a part of sustainable development. When you talk about sustainable development, our all ecological, environmental concerns, social concerns comes together, and only society can develop sustainable. Nation can develop sustainable. Organic farming is basically meant for. I'm repeating this because I want to repeat. We should not understand this is just it's a pesticide-free producing enterprise. No, we can't limit organic farming to that level only. Now I am putting 3 questions to you here. Sorry, a question to you. Let us think of 3 cases where one is a farmer's market, a farmer is selling his produce from a farm shop or organic farmer's market. Another is a shop of an NGO, and a third is a supermarket, a fully air-conditioned mall, where various kind of produce are sold. In case one, it's a small farmer's produce. Farmer himself is selling, herself is selling, which is not certified. It's just 1 year of conversion. It is unpacked. There could be chances of residue. It was brought from just 20 kilometers. It has produced in diverse and mixed farming. And 100% of the whatever comes from the consumer, MRP goes to the farmer. This is one scenario of selling organic, marketing of organic produce. Another is an NGO shop where 10 acre of a farmer, 10 acre farmer is selling PGS certified 2-year-old farm where paper packaging is utilized, and there is a small chance which has come from a residue of his own small piece of land which was brought from 500 kilometers from a mixed cropping. MRP ka 70% goes to the farm. Another situation where supermarket is selling organic produce, it comes from a big corporate 5,000 acre farm, certified by internationally credible agency. It's 3-year fully converted organic, packaged in a plastic packet, no chances of residue, brought from USA, brought from Europe, 7,000 kilometers away. Monocropping, you can see such monocrop organic farms in Europe and America. 50%, hardly 50% of the MRP goes to the farmer. All products are sold at 40 rupees. What will be your choice? It's a question to the consumer. What will you say more near to quote unquote, unquote principles of organic farming. We will have different answers based on what we value in life, what we value, how we understand the standards. What is more important to us is a farmer produce himself or herself, even if it is not looking good or it is not certified, he would consume himself or herself, for neighbor, for relatives. Uh, okay, हम organic खा रहे हैं कहेंगे. What matters in organic farming is not just residue. My point is, and we need to educate consumers in various ways. As said earlier, there were days where organic is considered just a pesticide-free food, toxin-free food for health-conscious people. And now I am presenting this in a climate-resilient agriculture production system. And as said earlier, they will come where people will talk, नहीं नहीं मैं इसका ऑर्गेनिक लूंगा क्योंकि वहां किसानों को ज्यादा फायदा होता है. I have seen such people in Europe. 21 years ago, a BioSwiss, a certification agency, was not certifying food organic, even though it was pesticide free, if imported through airplanes. So finally, how we train our consumers, how we practice our principles in this society. Finally, money comes to farmers from consumers, and consumers might have different choices. It's a moving, it's an improving understanding about organic farming. Yeah, just 10 minutes left. I will have to rush a bit. So I said that this quality food carries environmental and social aspect, not just health. India, let us talk about Indian perspective. India has the maximum number since at least 6-7 years. India is topping about the number of organic producers. We have about 14 lakh organic producers in India now. But we are a country of small farms, small producers, family farmers. We are not a country of big corporate organic farms. And the whole organic marketing system should be friendly for these producers. As we have brought imported syllabus of the agriculture universities and colleges from Wisconsin and Cornell, we can't afford the standards and the certification systems from Europe and America, where health conscious, consumer centric approach to organic farming at the cost of farmers is happening, where the farm size is bigger. In Europe, if you go, small farm, those having less than 300 acres of land are considered small farmers. For us, small farmers means less than 2 hectares of land. So we need to have an Indianized system of certification, quality assurance, marketing. And for small farmers, there are many challenges. It's a fragile economy, limited risk-bearing capacity, comparative more difficult to produce poison-free food, non-uniformity and inconsistency in terms of quality and time of delivery. It's a group of farmers producing you. They will have different kind of seeds and some variation in the size of the grain also. Difficult to follow the standards for farmers because of the small size of holding, lack of understanding, illiteracy. They don't know English. Too much of documentation and paperwork, unaffordable cost. Of course, TGS is an easy way there, but we need to make clusters there. Anyway, these are the challenges for the small farmers, organic farmers of India. And this is important. I'm repeating again. Quality of is something buyer value for. It could be toxin free. It should be environment, green, low carbon footprint. These are the words now being used for the adding value to the product. Socially just, religious and cultural aspects are coming up. Plain food, cow based, all are the value addition. Ethical aspects, small farms, local. These are the ethical aspects coming in the selling of the marketing of the organic produce. And definition of quality differs, improves. As I said, there are unethical practices in the certification agencies happening. We know this. Limitations of understanding about organic farming. I remember in 2008, where we have conducted a survey of understanding about organic farming, and 8 out of 11 scientists have replied in return saying that urea can be used in organic farming because urea is an organic fertilizer. This was the level of understanding of scientists in 13 years ago. And now we are sure that even scientists would say, no, urea can't, even if it is an organic product of an organic chemistry, urea can't be used in organic farming. So we still have a limitation of understanding. I would say that when I talk to some policymakers and scientists, mainstream people, consumers, farm leaders, what do they mean by organic farming? And limitations of standards are, so mere certificate cannot guarantee quality. My point is here. Just see here, just 3 days ago, 2 days ago, day before yesterday, in Gandhinagar, government of India has opened up an outlet, and they didn't use word organic. वो कहते हैं प्राकृतिक यानी ऑर्गेनिक से भी आगे, एक स्टेप आगे. प्रोडक्ट्स में लीडर अब सेक्टर 21 गांधीनगर. राज्यपाल जी ने उसका इनॉग्रेशन किया. चीफ सेक्रेटरी वाज प्रेजेंट देयर. उनके सहयोग से हुआ. व्हाट आर द वर्ड्स यूज्ड? काउ, नेचुरल, A2, एक स्टेप आगे, climate safe, sustainable, chemical free. What do we mean by organic? What do we mean by value addition? Whether it will come under the sphere of FSSAI regulation or not, all are the questions. I respect the diversity, ecological benefits, socio-economic justice to the farmers, better quality or consumption level, political advantage. कोई कहेगा हमारे लिए स्वदेशी के लिए ऑर्गेनिक जरूरी है. Is a political advantage of organic. Respecting cultural diversity, vegetarianism, food habits. Israelis would look for kosher food. Cultural rituals related to food, seeds, all are the important aspects. While we talk of quality, is important for the marketing of it. And but you can name, this is just I have listed. In Indian languages, there are about 40 various names. Gau Krushi, Nanak Kheti. If you go in Punjab, you will find Nanak Kheti. Hello? Hello?
Can you hear me?
I can.
Yes, sir. Yes,
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. I will try to finish within 5 minutes. Huh? There
Yes,
is
sir, no
some
problem.
issue. It's okay. And you can see in English also, agroecological farming, ecological farming. Yesterday, the IAS officer from Andhra Pradesh was talking about we are going to create agroecological research center. What are the words being used? And we still have Subhash Palekar natural farming, ZBN, GMO-free farming. These are the words being used world over. But because we are a part of the global system, we want to create our own identity separately, or we shall be catering to the needs of the global movements also. There are more than 142 countries where the data is being prepared officially. There are more than 200 countries where organic farming is being practiced now. If we are part of those global system, which is bringing their agriculture in a wiser ways, then we should also stick to some regulations, global standards also. And there is a IFOM family of standards. You can see that there is a family of standards to which we will have to abide to. There is a equivalence. And recently, Indian organic standards were considered equivalent to Europe and America, USA. Very recently, unless I am wrong, USA has said that no, we are now Indian organic standards are not equivalent to us. For the certification system, we will not subscribe to Indian certification system. It's a loss to the Indian farmers. What happened? Why? We need to understand. So my question here is how to maintain equivalence as well as diversity. Should we have two sets of standards? One need to think. In automobiles, we have two standards, we know. And for export, anyway, with what we irrespective of our standards, you will have to abide to the standards of the important country. Then why to put an extra burden for more than 70% of the food sold in domestic market with the whole set of regulations which are international, which are up to international level? For small farmers, can they do this? So those international standards for American big farmers, European big farmers, and Indian small farmers should be similar. These are the questions. Uh, so quality assurance as a product of safe farming is important. Create various categories. We need to create various categories of food. Pesticide-free food, GM-free food, under conversion, fully organic. Bring transparency and traceability is very much required. Create affordable testing facilities. Dr. Paresh has rightly said we need to have more laboratories so that any consumer can go and test whether the farmer is really producing poison-free food or not. Use of technology will help. Barcoding, QR coding, smartphones. Now we have to trace the production systems, and it is happening. There are several projects. Connecting the gap by building bridges. We need to have producer-consumer network, community-supported agriculture, alternative marketing models, farm shop, farmers market, box scheme, food festivals, direct sales from producer to consumer from small farmers is the need of an hour for Indian organic farmers. Like this, like this. Farmers himself is selling. Consumers going to the farms and making connections, then no certificate required. If the system is known, easily traceable, then there is a faith. Unless you have faith through direct contact, then only you need some other thappa, and which could be full of corruption. We know. Certificate, we know our graduates carry certificate, but doesn't carry quality. Computers engineer are really a quality engineer in computer science. So certificate, we should not rely on certificate. I am not against certificate. Right? We should not rely on certificate beyond the limit. It is not a assurance of quality, let me tell you. Of course, it is undigestible to many of us. Many such events can be carried out, and we should have, why to rely on just one system, APIDA only, or just the PGS only. Master organic farmers can be trained to certify other farmers. NGOs can be trained. Residential welfare, resident welfare associations, panchayats, local agriculture, horticulture, and animal husbandry department officials can also certify. Local agriculture university and KVKs can also be roped into quality assurance system. These are the tasks one need to carry for organic Indian agriculture, organic quality assurance system in India. So let us move from mall to small. Let us move from global to local. Make it participatory and community managed. System regulation is important, not just end product regulation. There could be no pesticide residue, but still urea is used there. So it's not a pesticide residue testing is a very limited criteria for organic certification. This is a point I want to make. And whatever is being said here is being practiced by many small big NGOs, farmers group like Jatan, Center for Sustainable Agriculture in Hyderabad over 3-4 decades. And we are not only some different path breakers. You will find such different kind of certification and quality assurance and marketing systems in USA also. And these are the websites which will teach you how the whole system can be parallelly maintained, given the assurance to the farmers and the consumers are given assurance of the validity of the system, and it's really genuine, really almost corruption-free kind of thing. It doesn't mean that you can't make corruption in alternative system also, but this could be also the ways. As a part of, sorry, there could, Dr. Dev Kumar could be waiting just a couple of minutes. I remained a part of a task force on organic and non-chemical agriculture in 2016, the Government of India initiative. And we came up with a report, India as a world leader, and what should be done in marketing. Everything is there submitted to the government. Almost everything said here, I am not repeating. but it is there. Consumer awareness campaigns are also part of. Quality assurance certification is also a part of. And as said, marketing, what should be done in the marketing? Everything is very much well mentioned as a part of this presentation. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity, the whole team, and especially participants for patient for learning. Hearing. Thank you.
Sir, thank you so much, sir. This session was really very informative. Those who are planning to do organic farming and those who are doing organic farming, this is very useful. Thank you, sir, for making us educated on this topic and sharing your experiences with us. I would like to say some few words of Mewada, sir. Sir.
It is a very enlightening talk. Thank you, Kapil. And he is a very dedicated organic farming entrepreneur, or we can say a karyakar. And his dedication is that actually on the last 15th, he has lost his mother. So it is just 1 week. Still, he is with us. So that is the level of his dedication. He talked to me regularly so about these things, and he helped a lot. Particularly, he helped a lot to deciding these panels. Dr. Vijay Kumar, Dr. Ramu, Dr. Deva Kumar, and all that dignitaries and scientists, they are with us. The credit is only go to Kapil. So thank you very much, Kapil. And we are here and always here for the development of organic farming. Thank you again. Dr. Dev Kumar is waiting. I think, sir, welcome you. Over to Shraddha, please.
Okay, sir. Yeah, thank you. Now, moving on to deliver information on topic of research needs and scopes in organic farming, we have with us Dr. N. Devakumar, sir, who is the Dean of College of Agriculture, Hassan, University of Agriculture Sciences, Bangalore. In his professional background, sir is serving as Professor of Agronomy since 2005. Sir also worked as a World Bank team member in implementing Sujala watershed project of Government of Karnataka. Sir also involved in establishing first organic farming research center at Zonal Agriculture Research Stations, Newell, Shivamoga. Sorry. As a team leader, Sir conducted and validated Subhash Palekar method of natural farming practices in field crops, organic farming, and organic farming experiments. Sir has also involved in establishment of research institute on organic farming at Gandhi Krishi Vigyan Kendra, Bangalore, and also responsible for establishment of separate organic farming research blocks in different zonal agricultural research stations and agricultural research services of University of Agricultural Sciences, Bangalore. Now, I, sir, welcome you for this technical session 4. We all are really very looking forward to listen to you, sir. Over to you, sir. Thank you.
Hello. Hello. Sir,
Yes, sir.
am I
Yes,
audible?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Sir, I am audible.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good morning, sir. Good morning
Very
to
good morning.
one and all, and especially the Director of Research, Mewad sir, and my good friend, Dr. Kapil Shah sir. I think other Ramanjanello and others who are there in this, and especially the students who are joined this webinar, that is climate resilient agriculture production system through organic management, organized by Anand Agriculture University, Gujarat. And I thank you for giving me this opportunity to be with you. So to be with you today, I will going to speak on the topic, the research needs and scope in organic farming, as even the Kapil Shah and especially with the organic farming for the past few years, or so to say, since 2006 onwards. 6 onwards. Sir, if you, I start my presentation with giving the little brief description about the actual cultivated area of the country. It is almost 143 million hectares, as right now Dr. Kapil Shah was mentioning about the land holding size. And before that, if you look at this, our country is highly thickly populated, about 324 persons per square kilometer. And if you look to our total area, land area under cultivation, close to 70% of our area comes under rainfed. Even Gujarat is leading, and we being the Karnataka, we follow that. So out of which close to 50% of the food requirement comes from this 68 to 70% of the land area, which support huge animal and human population. So where does this come from? The lot of production, it comes from the small holdings, or small or the marginal holdings, which accounts for about 80% of the total cultivable area. So this is in brief about our situation. If you look to the challenges for sustainable agriculture production and farming system development, there are a lot of challenges before listed few of them. Abundant food demand for food will increase. So in the years to come, unsustainable use of natural resources, and especially the soil, biological diversity, all these things, and the water. This is well documented, because of this, a lot of abuse of the land has taken place. Taken place. Because of this, the sustainability or the productivity or the potentiality of the soils are coming down to a great extent. And more than 50%, around 60% of the ecosystem services have been degraded in the country. Intensive agriculture, actually, it is highly energy intensive cultivation. And this is all these things, and coupled with the climate changes, is a real challenge for us. And if you look to the threats in modern farming, the same thing will continue, holds good for the organic farming also. Soils, climate change, pest and disease management. So if you look to the soil, in the soil, organic carbon content has reduced to a great extent. Actually, so to say, to quote you at this point of juncture, in most of the Indian soils are having less organic matter content, which may range anywhere between 0.3 to 0.5 in most of the soils, and even very few soils in the temperate or the or wherever the crop growth is limited, with a lot of cover crops are there. In that situation, the organic matter content is high, and this has led to a lot of soil erosion and other associated problems. All these things have resulted in overall decline in the soil health. And the climate change, this is, I need not explain, because already most of the people might have explained in this webinar. And next is pest and diseases. So the occurrence of pest and diseases is increasing even the few of the pests and diseases which were earlier seasonal, now they have become almost regular. So next is human and animal health. This is, I think in the coming slides, I'm going to give you the brief account of how many nutrients deficiency is there in the soil. That apart, lot of chemical residues that are present either in the crop residues or the grains. When we consume that, the health is under a stake, both animals and human beings. And that apart, the usage of a lot of agrochemicals that has also resulted in bad health. And environmental implications, it is well documented, and each one of us knows about that. If you just in a brief, the climate change induced problems in agriculture, we know the rain and water, we are experiencing even in Karnataka and the entire country, the rainfall, there is a shift in the rainfall pattern. It is not only the shift in the rainfall pattern, it is the intensity and occurrence of the rainfall, which is mattering much to the crop production is concerned. And that apart, even the water, the groundwater level in the country, and in particularly in our district, it has gone beyond 1100 feet in most of the cases. The soil health, as I already explained, it is deteriorating. Increased cost of cultivation. Yes, this is one of the bothering aspects of the crop production, and most of the farmers are really worried about the increased cost of cultivation. This is mainly due to dependency on external inputs, and also the market. There is no proper market for the agriculture produce. And that apart, the reduction in yield, the yield reduction in most of the cases, even in the state of Karnataka, about 2 decades back itself, there is a plateau in yield increase as noticed in many of the field crops. So that yield reduction is coming to the picture. And pest and diseases already we discussed, and the labor availability. Actually, there is a shift in the available human resources at rural areas for agriculture practices. Their migrations are taking place from the rural areas to the urban areas. That is the one thing. And even if the people are there, they are in the group of aged more than 50 years plus. Are staying in the rural areas. And if you look at the impact of green revolution and conventional agriculture and the entire situation is that affected the soil health and soil productivity. This we have discussed. I think another 1 or 2 points I would like to quote here is the soil erosion is the major factor, reduction in the soil depth, reduction in the infiltration rate. These things have affected. Next is the biodiversity of the crops. I take the example from my own state, wherein the biodiversity, especially the minor millets, whatever the millets we are popularizing now, the area under that minor millets has drastically reduced in our area. It is not only in our area, in most of the cases, the traditional crops have been shifted, or the many crops which farmer was growing earlier has reduced, affected the health of the human and animal population, environmental and social aspects. The social aspects, I think there is a vast difference in the socio-economic status of the farmer and economic status. All these things, the financial status of the farmer has reduced, has come down to a great extent. I think this I would like to skip that. And when it comes to the soil health is concerned, look at the soil. The soil ecosystem, this was earlier how this was. It was a reserve of plant nutrients. Organic matter content was very high. Once the organic matter content is high, there will be dark, and also soil flora and fauna is rich in soil and flora and fauna. And if you look to the next adjacent, only plant nutrients, this is mainly because we are applying only the nutrients apart from applying the organic matter to the soil. So this is the one I was talking. If you look to this from 1950 to 2025, there is a large number of nutrient deficiencies have occurred. At the early stage, it is only the nitrogen in the 60s, nitrogen and ferrous iron has come in. And if you come to the 2000, more than 8 nutrients deficiency was observed: boron, manganese, sulfur, potassium, phosphorus, zinc, iron, and nitrogen. That means to say that at every decade, there is a consistently depletion of reserves, depletion of nutrient reserves in the soil that is mainly bothering to the production system. And the same way, if you grow the crops in the deficit soils, naturally the nutrient content of the either in the grains or in the vegetable or in the fruits, the available nutrient content is low. That is leading to the health problems both in human beings and animals. So the future challenges in agriculture, if you look to that, as we discussed earlier, it is the productive, stable and resilient agriculture, lower ecological intensification, biological and natural, bring back the earlier organic agriculture practices to the mainstream, so that all these things can be achieved over So healthy children and healthy nation. This depicts that the people are getting more and more awareness about the healthy food, and that is paving the way to the organic farming. I think this definition, most of our students knows that. If you look to this organic agriculture situation in the country, most of our earlier speakers might have touched this. The consumer awareness is growing, domestic markets are increasing, and the average premium on consumer packs is varying anywhere between 60% to 120%. But with all this, the area under organic agriculture is slowly has reduced, mainly because of the market to these things. The basic principles of agriculture, crops, livestock, and people, and ecological diversity, and recycling of the material is required, and ecological and social justice and fair trade. And lastly, the principle of care, that is the precaution, that is future soil and animal health need to be taken care. Organic farmers in the country. There are 3 traditional farmers who are there in the farming, in the organic farming for a period of time. They are practicing this as it is as a tradition. So next category is we have recently adopted the organics in the line of ill effects of conventional agriculture and to produce healthy foods. So with this, and the third and most important category, what I would like to consider is the farmers and entrepreneurs who have systematically adopting this commercial way of cultivation, organic cultivation. It is mainly to capture the markets and opportunities and to get the premium price. This category is the one which is coming to the forefront, and also they are the people who are really interested to grow, mainly to meet the market demands, and not only the market demands, they are also looking after the consumers' preferences also. And if you look at the organic agriculture and the yield, there are empty number of papers. In one of the review paper, they have reviewed more than 175, 180 research articles, and they've clubbed this into three different situations. So the situation one is in intensive farming systems, organic agriculture decreases yield, and the range depends on the intensity of the external inputs we use. What I can give the examples is that even the national state level average yield farms, if you convert state or the district or high yielding farms, if you convert them, naturally there will be a decline in yield. And the second category is the green revolution, where the irrigated lands and with the high yielding crops have been adapted. There also usually there would be almost an identical yield, or the yields may decline. This again depends on the inputs. And the third and the most important, which is applicable to our country, is that the traditional rain-fed area, wherein more than 60% of the land area is traditionally rain-fed area, in which the present condition, the use of external inputs levels are if you convert such lands into organic agriculture, definite agriculture area, size of the land holdings. And I have taken 2-3 experimental results. These are from the University of Agricultural Sciences, Dharwad. So saying that soybean yield as influenced by management practices. There are 4 management practices. So one is the organic integrated nutrient management, recommended package of practices, and inorganics alone. If you look at this over a period of time, almost 3 years, the yield of soybean has increased under organic farming situation, and it is comparable to integrated nutrient management and recommended package of practices. Sir, at this juncture of time, I would like to mention that these experiments, both the experiments have been conducted on the deep black cotton soils. That's also one of the advantages of to get higher yields. And similar trends have been observed in case of wheat at Dharwad situation. And if you look to the scope of organic agriculture, climate change agriculture, one is the climate change and adaptation mitigation strategies. So in this, so there are why these things are to be done is that increase of extreme weather conditions due to the climate change. So increased drought situation, and also the crops are experiencing a lot of stress during the crop growth period, and desertification. So for all these things, I think the most short answers are we can slowly convert such lands into organic agriculture. And the second important thing is health and nutritional security is concerned. There are the situations wherein apples, tomatoes, and carrots, and even the dehydrated potatoes have been given here. One is from the organically cultivated product, conventional. And if you look to this, in most of the cases, all the parameters, starting with in case of apples, vitamin C content is higher. That's about 11.91, close to 12%. And the highest in case of potato chips, wherein the fructose content has increased. And the third one is that the sustainable agriculture and environmental balance is concerned. This is the experiment from a long-term experiment from University of Agriculture. These experiments are being conducted since in the control is 0.4%. It is high, almost 0.5, 0.5.2 with internet unstable. almost close to 5.5% was observed in case of FIM and FIM with recommended doses of fertilizers. So the conservation, these are the things. This avoids all kinds of practices which damages agro systems. The prospects, I think I need not discuss more on this. I think earlier speakers might have discussed well in detail. So though the India is a traditional country and we have endowed with very varied climatic situations, and these are the things, and the diversity in the climate and ecosystems. It is not only this, even the northeastern part of the country is by default, we can say it is organic, and many state governments are providing the subsidies, and also especially in case of Karnataka, the government of Karnataka is supported a lot of support to R&D facilities in all the agriculture universities, and these are the things, and most of the cases already few of the states already organic farming policies are already available. If you look to the problems and constraints in organic farming, actually I have taken these slides mainly to design the research needs to look into these things. This is lack of awareness, shortage of biomass, inadequate support of infrastructure, and the lower yields, as right now we have discussed, and market problems, high input cost, lack of financial support, lack of quality standards. I think right now Dr. Kapil Shah was discussing on that. So all these things are there. If in this background, just I would like to discuss a little more on the organic farming research and developmental aspects. So we categorized into three different kind of research to be conducted. One is the short-term, medium-term, and long-term research projects. And these are all, I would like to tell all the listeners who are participants or the participants is that these are all only the indicative ones. These are not the final one, or not not to be taken in all the situations. These are all the indicative ones. The short term, we have listed few. The resource generation, nutrient release pattern. So these are the studies, organic preparations, organic pesticides, farmers perception. This is these aspects, the second farmers perception and consumer perception. These are related to either with agricultural extension or the economics students can pursue. The others can be taken by agronomy, soil science, even the microbiology, plant protection people. And medium term, in medium term, we have listed the soil health and sustainability. So after a few years of time, what is the sustainability indicators, what kind of sustainability studies are to be conducted, what kind of soil health measures are to be recorded. And cropping systems are the next issues, agrotechnics to be standardized. And here I don't like to specify that it is the development of the package of practices. It is giving standard techniques and developed techniques or agrotechniques need not be applicable to all, should be an identical. Anyway, whatever the techniques they are developed, they are the indicative ones and can be adapted or can be modified. And concentrated organic sources of nutrients that can also be studied there. And most of the things what we have listed in the medium term can also be taken to long-term studies. The nutrient dynamics, ecosystem services, and if you come to the little in the organic, if you want to convert the organic farm into an in a conventional organic farming. So one should generate the extent the green manures are to be used. Where they have to be grown. So for that only, it is the area of green manures to be grown and the government and how the soil. And the next
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I think, yeah. Okay, okay. Now,
Sir, unmute yourself, sir.
okay.
Sir, unmute yourself, sir.
Okay.
Deva Kumar, sir.
Dev Kumarji, you need to unmute yourself.
what I am doing.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
fine
Yes, sir.
then.
Now
It is
now,
working.
yeah, sir.
Can
Yeah.
you hear me, sir?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We can hear
Yeah,
you.
just a minute. There was a problem with the internet, right?
Yes, sir.
So next kind of studies, as I told earlier, they're all indicative ones, and which we are conducting here and also elsewhere. The nutrient release pattern in that
Dev Kumarji,
mineralization.
sorry to interrupt. Dev Kumarji,
Sir.
want to use your PPT, isn't he?
You just share your PPT, sir.
No,
Yeah.
it is not shared.
Yeah, right now it is not shared. You will have to
Okay,
reshare
okay.
it.
Just a minute, sir. Just a minute. Then what is that? Sir, is it coming, sir?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah, right.
It's visible, and so you are audible too.
Yeah, just a minute. Next one is nutrient release pattern. That is mineralization studies needs to be conducted. And whenever it comes to the mineralization studies, so we definitely have to take up or the conductors. Also, the combinations of different manures and even the certain microbes can also be taken as one of the are taken the experimental priorities. And liquid organic preparations in this actually I divided into two: nutrient sources and growth promoters. in the nutrient sources, biodigester, and biogas slurry. Actually, sir, we have conducted a lot of experiments on biodigester, wherein it is normally a lot of nutrients are available present in the biodigester, as everyone knows that. Even the composition of the biodigester varies with one farm to other farm. By and large, nitrogen are 0.25, depending on the material they use, good for them and readily available for them. And so those things can be used if the biogas slurry is available. The combinations of biodigester, biogas slurry, and manual experiments with and without microbes can also be conducted. So such studies can be taken up by the master's students or even different this can be taken as a demonstration plots also. Next, hello, hello.
Yes, sir.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes,
So
yes, sir. Yes,
it is called Puchimarundu. It is the invention by the farmer who uses more than 8 to 10 different.
Can you share your slides, sir? Sorry to interrupt you, sir. Can you share your slides, sir? Your slides are not visible.
Problem. Okay, just. Okay. There is some problem. Network was about it. Now is it visible, madam? Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's visible now.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Hello.
It's visible now. Ha, sir.
Okay. Okay. Preparations. Actually, we standardize that. What is the quantity to be sprayed and when these things are to be sprayed. Such studies can be taken up by the universities or the research stations, depending on the local needs. And biocontrol agents, I think I need not specify on that. And any other local preparations, we can take up as a study material. And farmers and consumer perception, this we have taken mainly for the economics and extension students. What is the yield levels? What the farmers are getting? What are the different kinds of marketing avenues? And what are the income levels? And how the produce they are marketing? And what are the difficulties? And how those things can be solved? Can be one study. And availability of organic material produce whether it is continuously available or some or not. Those studies can also be taken. Quality and authenticity produce value for money. Such kind of experiments can be taken by agricultural extension and economic students. And when it comes to medium term stage, change it to sustainability more and studying the proper chemical and biological, wherein the first one, bulk density, holding capacity rate, such studies can be Sir, there is some problem with the network here. I'm sorry. Do you want me to share again?
Yes, sir.
Yes, madam. There is an internet issue here. I don't know why today. So these are the things. And the next is the sustainability. Here, the sustainability indicators we can work out, and pedodiversity, aggregate diversity, aggregate. This means the soil aggregation, and sustainability indexes can also be worked out. And what is the net carbon sequestration, etc., can also be worked out in that. So in this medium research, even the cropping systems can also be included. Something like crop rotations, what on crops, etc., can be studied. So next is agrotechnics, as I indicated earlier itself. See, whatever the agrotechnics are to be developed, it is mainly location specific production practices to be concentrated, and validation of the existing organic farming practices and the ITKs to be given priority. Next is concentrated organic sources of nutrients. Here mainly we are concentrating on the oil cakes such as neem, pangamia, mohua, cotton, groundnut. Actually they use in some of the high valued crops. So here, by using that, their combinations with the organic manures or with the biofertilization studies are to be conducted, are to be undertaken, and after that, so their effect, long-term effect or effect on the soil health need to be studied. So next category is the long-term research needs for the organic farming. And medium term can also be continued in the long term, wherein the nutrient dynamics, it is not only the nutrient availability in the soil, the dynamics of the soil. See, normally the nutrients are to be release pattern. It should be in such a way that the nutrients released should be coincide with the plant growth stages. So during the early stages, the nutrient releases should be slow, and as the crop growth advances, there will be a large or the big demand for the nutrients, and accordingly the nutrients are to be released in the soil. Otherwise, it becomes very difficult to get a good crop stand. So such studies are to be conducted in the long term. So how best we can increase the nutrient release pattern either during the grant growth period or in the tillering period. So such studies in combination with different nutrient sources, either it may be a bulky organic manures, or it may be a combination of biofertilizers, or it may be a combination of inclusion of this biodecomposers. So such combinations are to be worked out. Even in that case, we have made use of this Jivamrita in certain cases as an to release nutrients. Actually, one of our student presently, they have taken up such kind of mineralization studies to saturate different sources of nutrients. For example, even the FIM and vermicompost and red earth and their combinations with the saturation with the Jivamrita 75%, 50%, and without Jivamrita. Such studies we have already initiated here for a PhD student. So those studies will become become helpful to the farmers to use different combinations of manures or different combinations of Jivamrita or such liquid formulations, which will definitely enhance the productivity. Apart from enhancing the productivity, it also increases the soil flora and fauna. So such studies can be taken up, and the leachate studies, such study actually the leachate studies nowadays we have stopped at some point of time. These such studies are to be initiated to show that to what extent the leachates contains the different nutrients. And the ecosystem services, it is carbon sequestration, greenhouse gas studies. It may be the emission, to what extent either it is increased or decreased. And as have been stressing, to study the soil flora and fauna, these are the things which will going to influence the crop growth under the organic farming systems. Next is the pest and disease dynamics, which are happening there, can also be studied. For this pest and disease management, actually, I would like to mention here that, see, we have done an experiment here to cultivate the vegetables continuously in almost in 36 plots were there. So all given in a given point of time, almost close to 20 plus different plots have been covered with the different kinds of vegetables at different stages. Actually, I requested our pathology and entomology professors to conduct experiments to look to the dynamics of the pests or the occurrence of diseases, because getting such experimental plots is very difficult. Such studies can also be initiated, and these are all the soil physical parameters and the biological parameters can be one long-term research needs, and the economics, market intelligence, and the production and the demand for organic products. It may be either at the local, it may be at the local or national or international market surveillance are to be done, and demand forecasting models are to be worked out by the economists, and the cost economics and economic sustainability studies. And next, when it comes to the alternate land use systems, agroforestry systems, not only agroforestry, agro-horti, silvi systems can also be adapted under organic farming systems. And the weed management, weeds are becoming a lot of problematic under organic farming situations. So how best we can manage the weeds? At least I would like to share one of our experiences at US Bangalore, is that continuously growing of velvet bean in the fields infested with Cyprus rotundus or with Cyprus Hariali. This it has suppressed the Hariali and also the other nut grass to a greater extent. When we cultivated continuously this velvet bean for more than 3 to 4 seasons, the population has reduced to more than 80% in the infested plots. Such studies can also be taken. I think I will sum up my studies by taking few of the policy issues. There should be a promotional policies and the production strategies. Here in the promotional policies, publicity has to be given, encourage the use of organic foods, incorporate the syllabus to the either at the primary level or middle school level. These are the few things are to be done. Production strategies, location specific crop production, conversion of tahsils or the districts into total organic, and promotion of traditional and location specific foods, and organize buyer sellers meets. This is the government of Karnataka is continuously doing for the past 1.5 decades. And quality assurance of organic products. This is most important. Right now, Kapil Shah sir was talking about the certification that I need not emphasize. Once the certification is required, there is a need for establishing quality control laboratories, either at the universities or at the departmental levels. And this bring more transparency, accountability, and traceability of the organic products produced. And next is marketing and branding. It is most essential to create a demand for organic products, establish separate markets and market intelligence, develop separate apps to promote the production and marketing linkages. And the most important is develop an exclusive brands for the state or for the district or for the farmers groups, and the institutional support is required. And to sum up my presentation, I would like to say that the organic farming is not new to the country, but this system needs to be nurtured. It should be promoted to a great extent. In Indian context, many challenges can be converted into opportunities to promote organic farming. Most of the challenges could be converted into opportunities, and governments are promoting organic agriculture in a very big way. And organic farming is the most viable farming system for climate resilience. I would like to mention at this point of time is that government of Karnataka is the first state to come out with the organic farming policy in the country, and also they are promoting, they have revised their organic farming policy of 2004 to in the year 2017. 2004, lot of emphasis was given for the production of the product, and the 17, the value addition, marketing, and branding was given. I think with this, I would like to say that we don't grow plants, we grow soil, and the soil grow plants. So in organic agriculture, I think I thank you. Thank you for one and all.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. It was really nice
thank you.
presentation. Yeah, thank you. Thank you so much, sir. I just invite Mewada sir to say about few words.
Shraddha, do we have any question from the
No, sir.
participants? Why? Actually, all the participants are requested to raise some questions or queries
Questions. Yes, sir.
so that we can make this conversation more live. So anyhow, if there is no question, that means everybody is understanding or nobody is understanding. So I am very much thankful to Dr. N. Dev Kumar sir, and as per our conversations, he is always ready for promoting organic farming, and he is a leading scientist who is doing this work for the last decade or more. So again, as a director of research of Gujarat Organic Agricultural University, sir, I thank you very much for sparing your valuable time, and hope that in future also we are going to work together, and I need your cooperation forever. So again, thank you very much. Thank you. Over to Shraddha.
Sir, thank you. Thank you very much for this. And since Kapil Shah sir has called me and he told that you have to be a part of this, I cannot, even if it is any difficult situation, I would not have said no to him, because the association is like that. And the people like Kapil Shah and others who are there in this entire webinar are promoting the organic agriculture in the country. And also it is, I would like to thank you for giving me this opportunity to discuss with the young minds who are taking up the organic farming research for their, either for their masters or for their doctoral studies. And just I would like to mention one thing, and I will close down my thanks. So the government of Karnataka, government of India, the ICAR, has approved the master's science in organic farming in the entire country. Any university, if they are interested, the ICAR has given the clearance. Actually, I'm also part of that committee to formulate the syllabus. I'm one among many few of the specialists who are there. With this, I thank you.
Sir, just I will take 1 minute. So,
and all the organizers for giving me this opportunity.
yes, sir.
Hello.
We are the first university to adopt this syllabus, and we have already started this course from this year only. So, can you listen me, sir?
So congratulations, sir.
Yes, we are the
Congratulations.
first,
I
and
think all these efforts should go to the university.
and from the
including
very
Kapil Shah,
next
sir.
day,
Sir?
from the very next day, we adopt this.
Right, sir.
Yes,
Yes, sir.
MSc Agriculture in Organic
Congratulations.
Farming.
Congratulations, sir.
Yes, sir.
And-
Thank you.
Right, sir.
So thank you very much, and we need your guidance. in
Thank
future
you,
also.
sir. Thank you, Kapil Shah, sir. Right, sir.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Definitely, I will be there with the entire team. Entire team. Right, sir.
Okay,
Right.
sir.
Thank you.
Okay.
Right, sir. Right.
Over to Shraddha.
Thank you, sir, for your concerns and sharing your inputs with us. Thank you so much. We are very grateful to have you with us. Thank you. Our next technical session 5 will be on afternoon 2 o'clock. The topic will be certification in organic farming, which will be delivered by Dr. M.K. Qureshi, sir. I request all the participants to be on time and raise their questions in the chat box, in YouTube chat box, so we can ask to the resource person. Okay. So yeah, till then,